Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Char Aslakson, and today is my turn to talk about stewardship. I'd like to begin by asking you to think for a minute about the mail you get in your mailbox. I'm talking about the mailbox through the post office, not electronic. If your mail is anything like mine, you get a lot of letters from people who want your money. I'm not talking about regular household bills. I'm talking about organizations who are asking you to donate to their particular worthy cause. I get requests from veterans groups, from environmental groups, from disaster relief groups, from hospitals, from museums, from colleges, and of course, research groups who are trying to cure every disease known to humankind. They all genuinely need our help. And I always feel a little guilty that I can't give to them all, especially since they send me these little gifts. You know what I'm talking about, the address labels, the pens, the note cards, the greeting cards, the tote bags, and the calendars. If you know of anybody who would like a lovely 2022 calendar, please let me know. I have a very nice collection of those. This is called fundraising, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And then one day, as you're sorting through your mail, you find a letter from Genevieve, from St. Timothy's. And a few days later, you get a letter from the Stewardship Committee, both reminding you that it's stewardship time. It's time to renew or perhaps increase your pledge to St. Timothy's. It would be easy to think, just another in a long list of fundraising appeals. But of course, St. Timothy's doesn't give you any presents, unless you want to count the insert in your bulletin this morning, which makes a very nice bookmark. But to equate these reminder letters from the church with the appeals from these charities would be a mistake. And this morning, I'd like to say a couple of things about why supporting a charitable organization is not at all the same thing as Christian stewardship. They are very different. Put most simply, a gift to a charity is a response to a need. A pledge to our church is a response to God. Donating to a worthy cause is meant to improve a less than perfect situation. Giving to our church is an expression of gratitude to an always perfect God who does not need to be improved and certainly does not need our money. We need to give. We are the ones who are in need. This is not a perfect analogy, but perhaps it'll help. Consider how you feel when there's a new baby or maybe a new grandbaby in the family. We have this impulse, this need to show how happy we are and how thankful we are to welcome this new life. And we show that happiness by showering the new baby with gifts, with cute little outfits, with cuddly little teddy bears, Now, the chances are that that child doesn't really need those things. But we need to show in a very tangible way our love and our desire to connect with that person. We need to establish a relationship with that child. I said this was not a perfect analogy, but that's a little bit like what prompts our giving to God. We need to express our joy in having a relationship with Him. And our desire to nourish and grow in that relationship is all part of our gift giving. We need to share this idea with ourselves and with our neighbors. And we need to support His church. Christian stewardship draws us closer to God. It helps us to grow as individuals, and it helps His church to grow. Pledging makes that possible. One more thing about fundraising that differs from giving to the church. Since funding a charity requires raising money to cover insufficiencies, the focus is on the amount. The more we give, the better. The recipient doesn't really care whether we give grudgingly or whether we give willingly and cheerfully. All that matters is how much. If we give a little bit, of course, we get a thank you note. If you give a lot, you might get a plaque on the wall or a brick in the walkway with your name inscribed in it. What matters is how much. But Christian stewardship is not about the amount. It's about what's in our heart. God sees into our hearts, and He knows the spirit of our giving. He knows our priorities. He knows the status of our relationship with Him. The actual amount of our gift isn't what matters. What matters is how our pledge will strengthen our relationship with God. The focus is not on budget. It's not on goals or paying our fair share. The focus is on our response to His perfect love. So, as we prayerfully consider our pledge this year, let's think first about our spiritual relationship with God and how we can best honor that. Let's open our hearts to listen and to hear how we are being called, what we are being called to give, and what our response will be. Thank you.